everyone, and welcome back to another video on my YouTube channel. Today I'm going to be sharing my week 17 process in my 2018 Project Life album with you. To start off my process, the same as pretty much every other time, I'm going to be using my Fiskars trimmer to trim down my photos. The page protector that I'm using for this week has all 6x4 pockets, so I'm trimming down all of my photos to 3x4 and then I'm going to stick 2 photos in each pocket. I'm not going to be working with a specific kit for this video. I'm going to try using up some of my Citrus Twist kits, scraps and kit leftovers. I have a lot of kits which I've partially used and the items in them are far too pretty not to use, so I'm going to be using a lot of the March Pocket Life kit as well as some of the February Pocket Life kit in this video. Starting off with my title card, I've had a look through the 6x6 paper pad and I found this beautiful blue Aztec paper. So I've trimmed that to 4x6 and I found one of these Amy Tangerine metal paper clips that says hello, and I've also found this notebook paper die cut in the ephemera pack which I'm going to use to write my dates on. It does have the words Paper Girl cut out of it, so as you can see I'm just using some double-sided sticky tape on the back to hold those letters in place. I'm then, as always, going to be using my Ali Edwards month stamps and my black StazOn ink, and I'm going to be adding the April to the beginning of that die cut. It stamps really well considering all of those letters are cut out, and I was really happy with that, so I'm just putting my stamp away. I'm then going to place the paper clip inside the paper where I've made the hole, and I found it really easy and it looked a lot better and sat a lot better after making a little slit in the paper rather than sticking it around the edge like I did last time I used one. Using more double-sided sticky tape, I've stuck that notebook die cut in place, and now I'm using the black puffy stickers from the March Pocket Life kit to add the date. This week that I'm currently working on is the 23rd to the 29th of April, so I'm just going to add those dates on the other end of that die cut and then move on to embellishing. So now I'm going to have another look through the ephemera pack and see which die cuts I have that could work on my title card. I didn't want something that was too intricate as I fear it may get lost, but while I'm having a look through I find these really pretty floral die cuts and I decided they would be the perfect touch for this card. So I'm going to use my Gem Tack liquid glue. I've run out of my normal tacky glue, so I'm hoping that these work just the same. And I'm going to slightly overlap those flowers on that right hand side just to make it look a little bit more finished, and also because I really love the florals that Citrus Twist design. I then go back to the ephemera pack and find a final one of those flowers, and again I'm going to use my Gem Tack and I'm going to stick that on the other side to really frame my date and also to finish up my title card for this week. Next we're going to start working on my photos, and I wanted to use up some of my journal cards. I tend to hoard these and a lot of them have really beautiful patterns on. I find this orange one which has little confetti on the back, and I thought this would be perfect for this little photo of my husband and my nephew, so I'm going to trim that down a little bit more. Just add some double-sided sticky tape on the back, and then I'm going to keep it really simple and just have a look through the ephemera and my puffy stickers to see what little clusters we can create. The first little die cut that I find that I think will be perfect is this little red semicircle that says today, and then I decide I'm going to just use a label to add some journaling. And I find this turquoise one which I think is perfect to go with the bright colours in the photo, and so I'm just going to use double-sided sticky tape to stick on the label, and I won't use the whole label, I'll just use half and save the extra piece for later on. And then I'm going to use my tiny attacher to just staple on the semicircle. I wasn't sure where to put it at first, but as my photo is quite small I didn't want to end up covering up anyone's face, so I just stick that on the top. I'm then going to just add the tiniest little bit of journaling with my Jelly Roll pen, and then I want to add a little something extra, so I'm going to take this dark green puffy heart and just place that on the top. Moving on to the next photo, this is a screenshot of my online theory test practice tests. I have to redo all of the driving things, so I'm making sure to document every step of the way. I'm using another one of the papers from the 6x6 paper pad that came in the March Pocket Life kit, and I'm sticking my photo on with more double-sided sticky tape. Once I've got that in place, I'm going to again have a look through that die cut pack, and I find this really cool embellishment which is almost like a timeline or a measuring stick. So I'm going to trim that down a little bit, and then I'm just going to add a banner end. Again, stick that in place with some double-sided sticky tape, and I'm just going to stick that in the middle of the photo as a base for my cluster. I then decide that I want to use another one of these Amy Tangerine paper clips, so I'm going to add another slit in my photo just to help that sit a little bit easier. Then I'm going to put that paper clip in place. I wanted an exclamation mark, so I'm going to use those puffy stickers, and I'm actually taking the inside pieces of the zero and one of the other pieces to make my own exclamation mark, and then I'm going to take a puffy sticker that says "Never forget your story." This is a long process and not necessarily one that I want to be doing, so I'm making sure that I mark every step in the process, and that's actually going to be that card finished as well. This next photo is a very special one. It's a peony from my nan's house in her kitchen. My nan passed away, and so we are in the process of selling a house, and in her garden was beautiful peony plants, which they're my favourite flower, and I never knew that my nan had, and so I had to pick one and take a picture of it. I'm now using one of the pattern papers from the February kit, which is from the Maggie Holmes Flourish paper pad, and I'm trimming down my photo a little more, but still wanting to be able to see the kitchen behind. And then again, that photo is going to be stuck down with double-sided sticky tape. You may be noticing a theme here. Most things are stuck down with double-sided sticky tape or with liquid glue. I'm then going to have a look through the die cut pack, and I find a really pretty label which I'm going to add at the bottom. And then I also find these puffy stickers, and once I've put my label in place, I'm going to use a few of those just to really frame the photo. So I'm hanging that label off of the edge. I didn't want to cover up too much of the photo. And I'm going to take my black jelly roll pen and just add some journaling about it being a peony that was in my nan's house. The puffy sticker that I'm used, if you didn't catch that, is one of the butterflies. I hung that off the edge, and I'm going to take my scissors and trim off the excess, and then I'm going to use that excess at the top of the picture to make it look as if there are two butterflies of the same kind flying through. I then have another look through the ephemera pack, and I take this little bright pink heart, and using some more of my little liquid glue, I'm going to just stick that next to the journaling, and that's going to be that card finished as well. Next up is this photo of me and my husband, and this is closer to a 6x4 size, so I'm actually using one of the 6x4 cards from the kit. I'm also taking one of the large die cut words that says wild, and I'm just stapling that on using my tiny attacher. I'm then also going to take some of the puffy alphas from the kit, and I'm going to stick those just over the top of that die cut word to spell out "oh so wild." I'm then going to have a look again through the ephemera pack to find something just to finish off that bottom cluster, and I find this beautiful mustard yellow floral embellishment. And I'm going to just stick that using some double-sided sticky tape on top of the very corner of the wild, and then I'm going to use my scissors to trim off the edge. I also find a puffy sticker that says "it's 2 a.m. for me," which was perfect for this photo, and then I'm going to take one of the die cuts that says "today's mantra." I'm going to staple that on using my tiny attacher, and that's going to be that card finished as well. I'm then having a look through the rest of the 6x6 paper pad to find a pattern paper that I can use to make my own journaling card. I find this paper with the vintage postcards on that I thought would be perfect. I'm also taking some scrap white cardstock and I'm trimming that to 4x6 or slightly smaller than, and I'm trimming my paper to 4x6. I'm also being a little bit cheeky and trimming out the inside of this patterned paper. Some of my papers are just too pretty to use as a backing layer, so I'm just gutting the inside of this paper, and then I'm going to use more double-sided sticky tape and stick the white piece over the top, and you would never know. I'm then going to take some washi tape and I'm going to cover up the areas where there's still some double-sided sticky tape showing on the back so that I didn't get stuck to either any other cards or my page protector. And then having a look through my use them up alphas, which I always keep on hand in my basket, and I find these really pretty orange ones. These are all by Studio Calico, and I'm going to use these for my title on my journaling card this week. That's what these are going to spell out, is this week. I had to Frankenstein a H as I didn't have one of these left over, but that was fine. It was just taking an F and an I and putting them together, and then I'm just going to spell out the rest of the title, which was really simple, and it feels really good to use up some of your leftovers. I really urge you to use some of your scraps. Sometimes you can get distracted by the shiny new products, but sometimes it is nice to just use up some products, especially ones that you used to love and used to use often. I'm then going to take my black jelly roll pen and I'm going to add some journaling about all of the things that happened this week. I really want to be telling the stories of what's happening week to week, as well as just printing out pretty pictures. So I made this card, and this is going to actually sit next to my title card as a recap of the week as well. I'm then going to place all of the finished cards inside their pockets, and for most of my 3x4 cards, as you can see here, I stick them together using washi tape before putting them into place. I find that this helps keep them secure and stops them overlapping or moving about too much inside the pockets. I'm then going to be working on this next photo. This is a photo of me doing my grocery shopping, and I'm actually using the offcut of a piece of paper I used earlier on. I'm just using some double-sided sticky tape to stick this in place, and then I have a look through the die cut pack and find this label. It looks like an old-fashioned library ticket, and I'm going to take the black puffy alphas and just spell out Tesco, which is the name of our supermarket. I'm then going to trim off the edge of that label, and I'm going to stick that in the top right corner and make a cluster with a few other embellishments. Once I finish this card, I'm actually going to tape this card and the card next to it together, again using washi tape, just to make sure that they stay secure and in place, and mark this pocket as finished as well. Now we're moving on to the last pocket, and these are two photos which I'm going to be sticking onto one piece of paper. So I'm going to have a look through my 6x6 paper pad, and I find this beautiful peach mandala paper. I'm going to trim this down to 6x4. And then I'm going to make sure that both of my photos will first of all fit onto this paper. I'm then going to add some double-sided sticky tape to the back of them, and then I'm going to make sure that they can line up and have a little bit of a border around each side, and then stick them down in place. I'm then going to use the same alphas which I used on my journaling card, and I'm going to spell out the word snug. And I'm going to put that in the bottom corner because there was a perfect amount of space there that I didn't have to chop anybody's face or cover up an important part of the picture. I then take the puffy sticker sheet and find this sticker that says keep. I layer that over the top of snug so that it says keep snug, and it fits perfectly. I also find one of these puffy stickers that match the same as my title card, and I also have another look through the ephemera pack and find another one which I can use to finish up that card in the top right corner. Unfortunately, my camera did cut off here, so I don't have any footage of me finishing the layout, but that is my page finished. I add a tiny little puffy heart next to that die cut flower at the top, and that's everything. I'm sorry it's been a bit of a rambly voiceover. I'm still trying to find my bearings and get back to normal with filming and voiceovering, so thank you if you've stuck with me. I really do appreciate your support. If you are new and would like to see more videos from me, then please do subscribe to my channel, and hopefully I'll be back very soon with a new video.